Okay, here we go with the Metroid Prime test segment. Here I've basically just decided to erase one of my older files, and we're just going to start from scratch, do the first bit of the game here, where we take on the Parasite Queen, I think it is. Yeah, it's Parasite Queen, just pretty much the first bit, and then once we're done with that, we'll see how it turns out. So the purpose for this one, if you've seen the first one and read the incredibly long description of this, is basically to test how the Dazzle will be able to record a considerably darker game, and this would be definitely a candidate for that. I could easily just record a bit of Luigi's Mansion, but I don't really want to record too much of that since I just want to keep that for when I actually do the LP, which, if this ends in success, should be not too far away. I'm not too sure if I'm going to actually start it and try to maintain it and Doom 64 at the same time, but who knows, it'll definitely be soon. That's one difference between, I'm pretty sure it's the difference between the PAL version and the North American version, is that cutscenes like this are actually narrated. Plus, when you take the teleporter right near the end of the game to go to the impact crater, when you actually enter the impact crater, there's a voiceover that actually says it. I don't know why they did it, it was kind of pointless, but it was just a bit of a flavor text sort of thing. And I think there was also a bit of a voiceover that speaks over the ending cutscene when Samus escapes the impact crater and leaves on her ship. I do not have Metroid Fusion, so if I ever do this playthrough, the likelihood is that I will not be showcasing the Fusion suit. So, probably just going to have to do with the broadest all shoulders of the Varia suit, but this is actually not a bad suit anyways, I kind of like it. Okay, so a couple minutes in and just the 6 dropped frames. So that's looking not too bad so far. Pretty straightforward in this. I've actually been wondering what it would be like to play this on the Metroid Prime trilogy, because it's got the whole Wii controls and everything, and so it's basically pretty much like Metroid Prime 3. So it actually got me wondering, what it would be like to play this in the second game under that sort of setup. You'll also notice that one of the other differences in the PAL version is my missile count. It actually shows out off your maximum amount of missiles that you can carry at any given time on the PAL version, which is kind of interesting. No, we want to scan this. So, waiting patiently for the airlock to repressurize, blah 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 blah. And I think, is it here? No. I know one of these rooms has got a little room that you can enter with the morph ball. Where are the enemies? Nice to you to tell me to lock on enemies when I can't seem to find them. Yeah, you died. Thank you for giving me energy even though I don't need it. Oh wait, no, that's the charge beam. Thought for a second I needed the power bombs, but I don't have the power bombs. Theoretically I should, since this takes place straight after the first Metroid game, although mind you, when this came out, there was this in Fusion. I don't think Zero Mission had come out at this point, so basically power bombs were not a thing until Super Metroid. I don't even know why I'm doing this. There's not really much point in doing it. But just establishing that this is a thing, and I have a map, and it does all that sort of jazz. I'm not even going to bother with the look of it, because I'm 4 minutes in and I'm not really making this seem particularly interesting, so I quite like the way that they managed to switch up the whole, because like originally being like a massive side scroller, and doing basically changing it into this sort of first person view. Like mind you, Just sort of speaking out of recent experience, since I did not actually start playing this game until around about 2011. I didn't take much interest in the Metroid games in general until I watched Victor Bonobus's LPs of this game and Zero Mission, and consequently the first Metroid game, since he sort of did that sort of jazz with the comparing the two games, since Zero Mission is the remake of the first one. And that sort of piqued my interest in it greatly, because before that my only real experience when it came to Metroid games was, I mean, aside from Super Smash Bros., I had a cartridge of, I still actually pretty sure I have the cartridge of Metroid 2, which I kind of sucked at, and tried to do it on emulator, but kind of just went south, and that, you suck, turret. Thank you for giving me my missile back. So yeah, I think these red ones are like, yeah, they have logbook sort of things. I think that's another thing, another weird little tidbit that they put in. When you scan something, add it to your logbook in this version, there's a voice that tells you, like, recorded to logbook. They just sort of like spit shined it before they brought it out over here, and I have to say I like what they did with it. The only thing I don't like is the fact that they removed the scan dash, which allowed you to, if you had the original North American release of the game, you'd be able to, with still some level of difficulty, you would still be able to get your hands on the space jump boots as the first item of the game. Which that was pretty much the norm if you were going for a 23% run of the game, and then, or 22% run of the game, because yeah, Victor Bonobus did a 23% run, but he couldn't skip the boost ball, and I'm not too sure if he's actually made any progress on his attempt to do it at 22%, but it has since been revealed that you can skip the space jump along with the boost ball and go to 21%, but it involves a shitload of glitching. Yeah, I know I've got the charge beam, but I'm not a huge fan of the charge beam unless I'm using super missiles, really. Because, like, with all the other beams, there's like a charged up version of it, but they all kind of suck. The flamethrower is easily the worst. It kind of reminds me of the Phoenix Rod from Heretic. I mean, it's awesome, like, as like the rocket launcher of the game, because obviously it's in like a more medieval sort of time period, so it's not really, yeah, there's no really need to take that. I'm not going to die here. Knock on wood. I've established my level of suckiness at most other games that I've LP'd, and this is probably not really that different, but I'm just going to take the risk. This is a relatively easy area anyway. It's the easiest part of the entire game. It basically just sort of directs you where you got to go. Okay, 8.5 minutes closing in on, and still just the 6 dropped frames. This is actually looking really, really good. I don't know what causes the random lag spikes in making it fall out of sync, but it looks like it hasn't actually done anything like that so far in the video. If I can keep that drop frame level to 6, then this should be a virtually flawless thing. Okay, just completely and utterly forgot how to shoot missiles. Okay, got it. Yeah, Parasite Queen's got a bit of shielding on her, and in order to beat this one, it's very easy. Just shoot some missiles. If you press Y and then press A immediately, you can fire them off rapidly. So it makes this infinitely easier. And I am now out of missiles. Okay, thank you for telling me to scan it. There's not a whole lot of health left. Would have been nice to keep a hold of the a missile or two that I fired in stupid fashion. And I think that's it. Okay, bye-bye, Parasite Queen. You were uninteresting. Closing in on 10 minutes and still at 6 frames, which is really, really nice so far. Yeah, there's another one of those voices. Once again, I'm not entirely sure if any of the voices were in the North American release. I mean, I know I've seen Victor Bonabaz do it, both on the live stream that he did it at once couple years back on the LP, but I can't really hear too much in regards to the game audio in those games, even though he did record the game audio there, and I think it came out relatively clear. I just didn't really pay enough of attention, I guess. Yeah, I don't have missiles. Good thing I disabled the turret there. And here, obviously, you know, 7 minutes to get out of here is easily enough time. It's not going to be that big a deal. Even if you're being sidetracked by these stupid space pirates. They're kind of dickish like that, especially since I have no missiles. And you were much easier to kill than I thought you would be. Alright, so here we're going to go into Morph Ball mode and do that sort of jazz and dodge a whole shit ton of bugs and do that sort of jazz and dodge more bugs again and blah blah blah. Thank you. Can I have a boost? Thank you. Yeah, bombs are awesome. They've always been awesome because of the ability to bomb jump. They don't quite like it as much in the first Metroid game as from what I saw from the LP, but in stuff like Zero Mission, you're just about encouraged to do a whole bunch of bomb jumps, to do sequence breaks and shit like that. And bomb jumps as well. They're not quite as useful in this as they are in any of the 2D games, but I don't think Super Metroid even liked players using the bomb jump, because I don't think that did a whole lot with the whole bomb jump sort of thing. Although, mind you, you got the spring ball relatively early on in the game. I can't remember for the life of me exactly when, because it's been a while since I 100%ed that game. But I don't think you go too far into the game before finding the spring ball. So. And there's this frickin' thing, which is kind of annoying. You just gotta go into the Morph Ball mode and then just sort of bam like that, and okay, just made it. Thankfully. I don't even know why I just do the Morph Ball 3 here. It's just sort of like a weird thing. I think Jish did it in his LP. I'm just not too sure what in the hell causes it. I guess it's just OCD being, you have to do this. Oh yeah, Redley, he exists. It would actually make sense to do an LP of this not too far from now, since I did my own Metroid Zero Mission LP and sort of kicked Redley fair in the pants right there. And of course he has to be a dick and just sort of like piss off and make all that shit happen, but it's perfectly fine because I have the grapple beam. Open the door, thank you. That is one gripe I do have about the game, is that sometimes the whole loading thing can be a bit of a dick like that in regards to the doors opening. It can be a real dick if you're trying a low percent run, because most low percent runs are done without collecting any energy tanks. So you want to conserve as much energy as you possibly can. And here's the random plot device where Samus loses most of her shit. Bye-bye Vario Suit, bye-bye Morph Ball, bye-bye Missiles, bye-bye Charge Beam, bye-bye Grapple Beam. Yeah, kind of just lost all those. And if you're playing a 23% run, or like something like along those lines, this would be the worst and only time that you would ever get the use of the Grapple Beam. Since it's really easy to skip the grapple beam, because I think the only things you really need the grapple beam for are like a power bomb expansion or something like that. I know there's a power bomb expansion that requires the thing, but I think that's about it. Oh, life itself dropped under the 100 frames. Okay, that sucks. It's still only 107, so even if there is a slight little bit of desync in this one, it'll probably only be very, very minor. But considering from these two recordings that I've done with using high Q, yeah, I don't want you to go into screensaver mode. Thank you very much, computer. Considering what I've seen, Haikyuu definitely seems like the better choice for a voice recorder here. Because as I said in the previous test recording, even if this doesn't work, even if I can't completely avoid the whole desync thing from time to time, if I can minimize the amount of damage that each spasm causes, then that's good enough for me. I might have to deal with it a little bit in the Luigi's Mansion playthrough, but from what I can see, it's looking pretty good, and I reckon I could probably give myself the green light to finally do some recordings of this, of Luigi's Mansion and possibly Metroid Prime, because I definitely want to do Metroid Prime. It's one of my more favorable games that I picked up from or how do I word this? Like, of the handful of games that I picked up and got from watching Picked Up on a Bus videos of them, this is probably my favorite. So yeah, just gonna save, and oh, how I wish we still had scan dashes. That is such a dick like that. If you know what to do, then yeah, just, I'm not even going to go on a tangent about it, it's pointless, but so that's the end of this test video. Went for considerably longer since that section was just a bit of a dick like that. I took considerably longer, just got through this within 11 minutes. For some inadequately explored reason, it must have just been exceptional at this game. He had to have been, if he could complete this game 23%. So yeah, that's it for the video. If I give myself the green light after watching this video, then you will know about it. So see you whenever.